Right into the cedar. Look at that. They all flew right into that cedar. Well, I'm watching and I'm observing and I'm accepting that feedback. I will always keep some cedars up. Hey guys, so it's funny, you never know when life's going to teach you a lesson. So today I was walking around my property in the morning and my land taught me a lesson. Um, my morning routine is essentially to grab a piece of fruit or something and a coffee and just kind of walk around my land. And I videotape when I go around, just walking around, because you never know what I see. And I delete 99% of the footage that I take. Today I thought I'd put a video together using some of the footage that I would normally just delete, because my land actually taught me a lesson. And there's two lessons here, actually. I think there's an on the surface lesson that I learned specifically about cedar trees, which I always thought were kind of junk trees. They actually have value. And I learned something today that I wouldn't have otherwise learned if I didn't get out onto my land. So kind of two lessons there is the one that I learned. And then the second one is that you really got to get out and walk around and be outside, because you can't take in information and receive feedback if you're not ever outside on your land. And then the second one's maybe a bit deeper, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video for anyone who wants to stick around. This video is going to be called, I'll put TV in the title, and those kind of videos will always be more ambiance type videos. So if you ever see me have a title called TV, it'll be a lot about just like what it's like when you have a food forest, what it's like walking around the land. So stick around, and hopefully you enjoy and get something out of this. Thanks. Hey, welcome back, guys. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but can you hear the birds? You know, it's a long winter here, and just hearing that is just so uplifting. It's coming. The spring is coming. Just love it. I'm gonna do a seed video because it's seed starting time, but that'll be maybe a couple days from now. I just wanted to take a video of the birds all trying to find homes, singing their song, trying to attract mates. I just sat out here, had my coffee in the morning. I hope you guys can hear that. So something funny happened a few months ago, sometime last summer, in one of the Reddit posts that I made. Someone called me Bob Ross in a forest, which, to be honest, I didn't know how to take it at first. I guess I get very philosophical sometimes when I'm on my food forest walks. But I like that is a massive compliment to me. It was really, it hit me. It really hit me. It was very appreciated, because I think Bob Ross is just the best of us. He was just an amazing person. And for anyone who doesn't know Bob Ross, he was a painter in the 80s, 90s, and he had a little PBS public broadcast channel style painting show where he would paint paintings and just every once in a while throw this bomb of philosophical depth and knowledge on people, and he would just say something so impactful and profound. So to be called Bob Ross in a forest was really nice. But I'm going to talk about actually something similar to that in this video. so stick around at the end. So the seed video that I'm going to do are a couple plants that I'm excited to grow this year. But this video is just my Edible Acres version of Chicken TV, my bird TV. I think it's important to always stop and smell the roses. Just to hit on observation, one thing, I'm always saying to get out into your land, walk around it and observe. Very important. One thing that I have observed the last couple mornings is that when the birds move back, they love the cedar trees. So I typically consider cedars as being a bit of a junk tree, especially if you watch my channel. I have a couple patches of cedar forest here, two big cedars there that kind of shade out everything down there, but they're just beautiful large trees. I kind of want to keep them, but they're shading out valuable south-facing hill. And then this whole area is a cedar forest going back. This land was farmland 30 years ago, and the cedars have kind of taken over and created almost a monoculture. But what I have observed in the last couple of days is that the birds, they come in and they're all hanging out in the cedars. Can I get these guys fast enough? So it's kind of interesting because I do think they actually have value. If I didn't have cedars and I just cut them all down, I would probably not get birds until some of the trees leafed out a bit. But right now, a lot of birds are making nests in the cedars. So, could be valuable. Did I get those on camera? It's really hard to tell. So right now they landed on a maple there. But in terms of where they're going to build their nest, they're not going to build a nest in a maple right now. They're probably going to head into the cedars. So maybe there's value keeping some cedars up. Some kind of evergreen up in cold climates so that birds have shelter early season. Always be receptive to feedback. Man, after a long winter, I tell you, this is so welcomed. This is like Christmas to me. Look at that, just as I said that, a whole nother whack of them came in. I'm curious how many of these birds are remembering from last year how much food was on this land. Because when I look around, I don't see, at least in the surrounding area, this many birds. We could have a really good spring and summer if these guys all make home here. These are my pest control. They're very welcome. Right into the cedar. Look at that. They all flew right into that cedar. Well, I'm watching and I'm observing and I'm accepting that feedback. I will always keep some cedars up. There's something so disarming about being outside and being in nature. And I think it's one of the best places to connect with people, whether that's a date with someone that you are trying to pursue, or your children, or your spouse, your partner in life. Um, Something about when we're outside, we just take down all our guards and we stop talking, and we'll have conversations, but we listen, we just accept feedback. So like, I think it's a really big deal to get out on your land and get into that state where you're allowing nature into your life. And I think humanity as a whole could do a lot of good reconnecting back to nature. Planting a small little fruit tree guild on their land isn't just going to give you a little bit of food security and self resilience, which, with what's happening right now in the world, is a pretty good thing. When you know that in a couple months you just have to survive, and get through the next couple months with a nice deep pantry, because you should be doing that anyways. Um, but you're going to have food coming on your land. So it's really handy to do that for a number of reasons. But reconnecting back to nature is really important. Instead of maybe going on a movie and like dinner and a movie date, how much deeper of an experience is it to maybe go to the store, go to a farmer's market, even better, talk to people, interact with people, pick something out that you can prepare as a picnic style date, and then take that out, prepare it together, make food together, eat together, and then go walking around nature together, where both people are really talking. I think at the very least, you're going to come across as somebody who has some depth to them, who has something interesting, because that's different and you'll be remembered. And, you know, it's one thing to do that as a date. It's another thing to do that also as, just an experience with your children. That's something that they're going to remember for their whole life, is getting out into nature, going on a picnic, going on a nature trail walk, bring your bikes, get out there, and enjoy nature. So I think it's really valuable for humankind, for humanity, to kind of reconnect back to nature, to stop talking so much and start listening to other people, start accepting feedback, allowing the message to come in, allowing their perspective to come in, and stop thinking about what you're going to say next, and connect with the people around you and connect with the world around you. When we're connected to nature and we see the signs and the things that nature's trying to tell us, we are more receptive to our impact on the planet and what we're doing. When you get out there and you see birds living on a clean piece of land and abandoning a giant open field, you start to see the human impact in both the negative and the positive way, and the amount of healing that we can do as stewards of the land. So this is, I sometimes maybe I do get really philosophical, and the only thing that I learned today from a surface level is that maybe I'll keep a couple cedar trees up as little, pockets here and there, to act as bird sanctuaries in the very, very late winter, so that they are building nests on my land, and then will build nests in my fruit trees later on. That I always thought that cedars were very useless trees. Maybe they have a lot more value than I thought. And that is a lesson that I absolutely learned this morning. Um, so I learned that surface lesson, but, walking around, I was just also thinking how much better of a world it would be if we all just listened to each other a little bit more. Got out of the whole divisiveness that's going on in the world with a two-party political system that has us all yelling and hating each other, when it's really just one party with two masks, and it's just the rich enslaving people, using their labor as the shackles and the things that we want as the method to enslave us. And the best things in life we don't even need money for. So, start pulling away from that, start building freedom and liberty in your life, reconnect to nature, get back outside, and start seeing what real life's about. Connect with people around you, and build community. Anyways, thanks for listening to an old man talk, and I'll see you next time.